You're listening to A Word With on WVCD 96.5 FM and 790 AM, a space for thoughtful conversations with visiting speakers where ideas continue long after the lecture ends. Because the most important part of the conversation is what happens next. This is A Word With.
We're going to tell it through the eyes of the Africans, of the Gullah Geechee people. Can we do that this morning? We just want to give another perspective of the narrative. Sweet heaven. I tell you, as I look down, oh, Lord have mercy. St. Peter, they got a mess going on down there. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Some folks think watermelon tastes better than cantaloupe and they won't start a war. Other folks say sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't. Some want Mars and some want almond joy, and they think that got to start a war. I tell you, look at them folks over there. What is they agging about over there? And don't realize that they both want the same thing called freedom, liberty, and justice for all people.
This is WVCD 96.5 FM, 790 AM, as we are here on assignment right now as we are celebrating Black History Month. And right now, I have the pleasure of interviewing a couple of our representatives here from the Gullah Traveling Theater. And once again, I want you both to introduce yourselves to our WVCD listening audience.
Well, I'm Anita Singleton-Prather. Most people know me as Aunt Pearlie Sue. I'm the founder and executive director of the Gullah Traveling Theater.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm Scott Gibbs, and I'm the deputy director for the Traveling Theater. Yeah. And musical director, yes.
Oh, yes. It was wonderful music, I must say that. I have to I appreciate that very much so. First off, Ms. Singleton, I want to tell you, how did this whole project come about?
Well, we've been performing now for 30-something years. And 2 years ago, there was a grant that came out, the 250th anniversary celebration grant for the state of South Carolina. And they approached us we applied for some grant funding, but then they came back and approached us and asked me, would I write a play that talks about the Gullah Geechee experience of the Revolutionary War, because that was an untold story. And so we traveled. In fact, last January, we were in Barbados because we started the research in Barbados, getting that connection because there's a tight connection between the Revolutionary War and South Carolina and Barbados. And so, like I said, I was looking and looking and looking. I didn't want to just write a generic play. I wanted names. And, I could have made up names and that kind of stuff. So, and I couldn't find a whole lot. And then I said, well, okay, let me work backwards. Okay, let me look at the so-called heroes of the Revolutionary War, find them, and then let me find those brilliant Black folks that was in the background. That was the foundation for a lot of their greatness, so-called greatness. And that's what we did. And so we started working backwards, and we found out, Oscar Marion was a childhood friend of, started out as childhood companions. I don't know if I use the word friends, with Francis Marion. And then he fought along Francis Marion for 7 years and then ended up right back enslaved back on Francis Marion and those plantations. And Francis Marion, those were Huguenots that came from France, escaping persecution. And their freedoms being denied, then came here and came and did the same thing here. Right. And so then you hear about Eliza Pinckney. She's in the South Carolina Hall of Fame, with the indigo. Right. But she was not in them fields working. Somebody was there. Well, then you had John Squash, William Scott Squash, who was that person that sort of brought it to the point where she could compete with Barbados, with the Caribbean indigo trade. Because at that time, her indigo was being compromised because of the clay vats that she was used to using. So it wasn't until this master carpenter, William Squash Williams, actually made those vats that was airtight that made her indigo superior. So it's a lot of stories like that. And even today, when we were coming up, I had somebody sent me a text wanting some information on some of the other blacks that was around Beaufort County, and found out another name was Limas and Pandoras that ended up in Bluffton area, which is part of Beaufort County. So I'm going to go do some research about here. And so those are the stories that we're trying to tell through this Revolutionary War experience.
And you're doing a good job, a great job, I must say, because I'm learning something new, because I don't know, a lot of folks, just like black folks, black family, doesn't know like the roots and where we came from, and, the struggles of people of the past. So what inspired you to go ahead and start this production?
Well, a lot goes back to my grandmother and my parents, because they were very involved in the civil rights movement. So I didn't come up with a fear of being afraid of who I was or ashamed of my Gullah Geechee roots. Wasn't afraid of white folks. My grandmother would have been, I think, maybe 114 or something now. But she didn't take no stuff. And, Tyler Perry played a Medea. She was the Medea. Pistol toting, never called her employer Miss Helen. It was Helen. When he get out my kitchen, don't you open that pot. I'll call you when the food ready. Get on out here. That's I'm serious. And that's
right.
I mean, she didn't play. She worked for them for 30-some years.
Wow.
And my dad, my paternal grandfather was born 1875, only 10 years out of enslavement in College and County Plantation. He was one of the first that they sent off the plantation to be formally educated. So he was an early graduate of South Carolina State University. He came back and started a school there, came over to Beaufort County, bought property, started a school there. And his daughter, who was a second generation graduate from state, she ran that school. He ran the one in Collin County. He was a farmer. He exported so he was a businessman, all that. So all that's part of my legacy.
You see, the Middle Passage voyage was 5 to 8 weeks in the belly of those slave ships. The water was rough. Babies were being born and tossed across the bow as shark baits. Some historians say 50% of we perished before ever reaching the shores of the Carolinas. We represent the 50% that survived. But those blue waters still remember our names. Kunta, Benda, Amana, Shaka Zulu, all of those names we still remember. As hard as they tried to erase we ain't going nowhere.
Well, Mr. Gibbs, I want to let you, how did you get involved with this great production?
I know, right? And this great woman. As a matter of fact, we're related. We're cousins. Yeah, great grandfathers. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so we're great. So we're family. And so all of the members of our group are kinfolk. And so that's when she came. And so this was her birth child to pull this whole group together. And so we do several productions. This is just one of our latest ones. And when she birthed it, I was just as amazed as you were today, because I was like, how is she going to do that? And so it's an awesome production, I think, as well. And I'm honored to be in it.
And we're glad that you have, because it was some great songs here.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't repeat the songs because I don't have a voice, but please, you must come out to some of their events that they have going on. And right now, Ms. Singleton, please let us know, or let the audience know, what are some of the events that's coming up that people can check you out.
Well, I tell you what, next week, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, because we partner with the Beaufort County School District, and this will be the 5th year of the African American History Education Conference. And on Thursday, we have about 7 free tours, Gullah Geechee tours. People can come and take part in that. On Friday, we have scholars that are coming from all over to talk about the Gullah experience during the Revolutionary War. And then on Saturday, we close out with a luncheon, and we will do this production with a bigger cast, because this is just a small part of cast. We have a cast of up to 40 members.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen it on YouTube. I mean, it's a big cast, but still, even with the number that you've shown here at Voorhees University, still was a very powerful and emotional show. So my last thought, my last question for both of you, how was your experience here at Voorhees University?
Oh, we love it. This I think is my second or maybe third time here. I think we came here 2 years ago with the group, and then I was here a couple of years before. Yeah, and so we love Voorhees. We love it. Especially when I get a chance to speak into the lives of our young people. I'm a teacher at heart. I taught for this would have been I started teaching at 21, so this has been 40 something years of teaching, and so we just get a chance now to teach on stage as opposed to And I want to remind people that we have the Gullah Festival. This will be our 42nd year of the original Gullah Festival of South Carolina. It's always Memorial Day weekend. This year it's May 21st through the 25th in Beaufort, South Carolina. So they can go to the Gullah Festival website, and we'll be performing our other production called Decoration Day, because that's what they used to call Memorial Day before it became Memorial Day. It used to be called Decoration Day. So we do a full stage production, take you to the Silver Slipper Supper Club and all of that. So yeah, we have about 6 or 7 full stage musicals that we travel all over the world doing.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What would be your advice, Mr. Gibbs, as far as with the young folks that want to learn more about our history, our traditions, and what we can keep?
And I was thoroughly amazed at the students here today in the audience, because I didn't know that they were going to pay attention as much as they did, and they were very engaged. So I'm very impressed with that. Now, I've been here again with Ms. Prather as well. We were Brother Jefferson and Brother Adrian West are two of my fraternity brothers that have been so engaging in making sure that we come here and share this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. I enjoyed the show, everything. Ladies and gentlemen, those are listening to WVCD 96.5 FM, 790 AM. Please, I implore you, please come on out and watch history come alive. Now, that's what I thought it was. It was history.
That's what we do. Bring Gullah Geechee history alive to musical theater. Yes. That's what we do. That's what we do.
And I do appreciate that. And not only that, now, when I first came down here to South Carolina, which was about 25 years ago, that's when I first really started learning about the Geechee Gullah. Okay. But the food.
Oh, yeah.
That was impressive, but that's what made me start learning more the history of it, like what was behind it. And, and I'm just glad that you brought it out here today.
Yes, thank you so much. And listen, we're looking forward to you being down to the Gullah Festival, because now, Scott, this might be the MC we might need.
I know, right? Yeah.
Okay, folks, you heard that now. So if you're here on the radio station, I'm down there now. So is that an invitation?
That's definite invitation, because we're going to work here. We need volunteers. We need work. Yes, sir.
I got you. I'm here. I'm here for you.
We got a whole weekend. I mean, we start out Thursday with the Ilimu, and that might be interesting too for educators and folks who want to learn. It's a immersive Gullah experience with Gullah artisans. We take you on a immersive tour, food, and you get to do some make and take, and then that night you come to see our production, Decoration Day. That's the opening night on that Thursday night, the 21st. And then on Friday we have the students. We have that's school day. The kids come. We have live entertainment all day, and then Friday night is the all white Caribbean attire Caribbean party, and then Saturday all day that's the official opening, and we have live entertainment going on all day. We have workshops. We have the Lest We Forget Museum, all of that's going on, tours, Gullah tours, all of that. And then again, we do an encore performance of Decoration Day, a matinee show at 3, and concert with Saturday night. And then Sunday we have church service out there on the waterfront, and we take you to the landing to see where one of the markers are, where we came in from those slave ships. And then we start the live entertainment all over again at 2 o'clock until fireworks end up about 9 o'clock. So when I say we have a full weekend
Yes.
for the original Gullah Festival of South Carolina. So do plan. Go ahead and start getting booking your hotels now because they fill up really fast. Really, really fast.
Don't worry, I'm coming from Orangeburg or wherever, so I'll be down there. Don't worry, I have family down there. But I'm glad I accept the invitation. I'm saying this on live. I'm a sec. But you know what, Miss Singleton, Mr. Gibbs, thank you so very much for joining me here. And again, thank you for blessing us with your many talents here for Black History Month. It was a great way to kick off Black History Month. And I'm glad, and I encourage everybody, I encourage all of my listeners to go and check out the Gullah Traveling Theater, please.
And please let them know, we blacker in February, but we black the other 11 months too.
Yes, sir.
So, and we travel from the west coast of Africa to the West Indies and everything in between. So please call us up. We have a few dates open for Black History Month. I know a lot of people trying to do something, so give us a call at 843-379-9276, 843-379-9276, and book us today.
All right, and with that, thank you so very much for joining me. Thank you. All right, this is WVCD 96.5 FM, 790 AM, the radio voice of Voorhees and the community.
That concludes this episode of A Word With. Thank you for listening to WVCD 96.5 FM and 790 AM. To see photos of our guests and stay updated on all things Voorhees, follow us on Instagram at WVCD Radio and at Voorhees University, and on Facebook at Voorhees University 1897. Join the conversation online, and we'll see you in the next one.